I thought I knew every corner of my apartment, until one night I found a door that wasn't there before. I thought I knew every corner of my apartment until one night I found a door that wasn't there before. My name is Daniel Carter, and I live in Seattle. It's a small apartment with thin walls, nothing special. But 3 weeks ago, something happened that I still can't explain. Every night at 2:30 a.m., I heard a quiet scratching sound coming from behind my bedroom wall. At first, I thought it was just old pipes or maybe rats, but the sound kept getting louder. Scratching, then a dull knock. 3 knocks every night. It started to make me anxious. One night, I finally decided to investigate. I moved my bed away from the wall and noticed something strange. Behind the wallpaper, there was a perfect square outline. Something had clearly been hidden there. My heart started racing. I grabbed a small knife and carefully peeled the wallpaper away. That's when I saw it, a tiny wooden door, no handle, no lock, just a thin crack. I had lived here for 2 years. How had I never noticed it before? I pushed the door slowly, and it creaked open. Inside, there was a narrow, dark space barely wide enough for a person to crawl through. The space was filled with empty food cans, a worn blanket, and a small flashlight. Someone had been living inside the walls. My stomach churned. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The tunnel seemed to stretch deeper than I expected. Then I heard it, a quiet whisper right next to my ear. "You weren't supposed to find this." I spun around, but the room was empty. The bedroom door was still closed, and the apartment was silent. My hands were shaking as I tried to process what just happened. I slammed the hidden door shut and called the police. They promised to search the apartment thoroughly. When they investigated, they found nothing, no signs of anyone living in the walls. Despite the police finding nothing, the scratching sounds continued. Each night, they grew louder and closer. I started sleeping in the living room, keeping a baseball bat by my side. I even set up cameras, hoping to catch whoever or whatever was in my walls. Reviewing the footage only showed shadows moving, nothing concrete. Still, the sense of being watched never left me. One night, I heard the whisper again, clearer this time. "Why are you here?" I froze. My heart was pounding like a drum. The air felt heavier, colder. I called out, "Who's there?" But only silence answered. I realized this wasn't a person, at least not like anyone I had ever known. Something else was in those walls, something that had been waiting for me to find it. I couldn't stay anymore. I packed a bag and stayed at a friend's apartment for the night. The next day, I returned to find a note slipped under my door. It read, "You should have left it alone." The handwriting was jagged, almost like it had been scratched rather than written. Panic surged through me. Whoever, or whatever, was inside knew I had discovered their secret. Determined to understand, I researched the building's history. Years ago, someone had disappeared in my apartment complex. Their body was never found. Some residents whispered about hidden tunnels and secret rooms. My apartment was built over the oldest part of the building. Could it be connected? I felt a cold shiver. The scratching, the knocks, the whispers, it was all tied to something older and darker than I imagined. That night, I heard the faint sound of footsteps in my hallway. I followed them, my phone's flashlight barely lighting the way. The hidden door in my bedroom wall creaked open again. I didn't want to look, but curiosity and fear pulled me closer. The corridor inside seemed endless. Shadows danced along the walls as if alive. I heard the whisper once more, "You shouldn't have come back." I tried to turn back, but the corridor stretched farther than my eyes could see. Panic gripped me. I heard breathing behind me, slow and deliberate. I ran forward, hoping to reach the end, but it never seemed to come. Then I felt a cold hand brush against my shoulder. I spun around. Nothing. Only darkness, and the faint whisper, "Stay with us forever." Suddenly, the flashlight went out. I was plunged into darkness. My phone battery drained instantly. I screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the shadows. Something moved behind me, fast, silent. I felt cold breath on my neck. I stumbled forward, tripping over unseen objects. The whisper grew louder, more urgent. "You cannot leave, not now." I awoke the next morning in my bed. Everything seemed normal, but the hidden door was gone. No tunnel, no whispering, no signs of anyone ever living inside the walls. Yet, on my desk, There was a small, folded note. "We are still here." My hands trembled as I read it. I realized this nightmare wasn't over. It had only just begun.